Welcome everyone to Cinema Regulars, the movie review show where we see so many movies in theaters that the employees know us by name and they don't ask us what movies we're seeing, they ask us how many. Now, today we have something very special for you. We have actually two movies that are retro showings brought back to theaters for special anniversaries. And on top of that, we have a brand new action movie starring Bill Skarsgård. That's right. We're looking today at Boy Kills World, which, as I've explained in the last episode, my brother Merrick and I, who is joining us for this episode, we've actually seen this movie already before, so we've seen it twice now as the recording of this video is, because the movie theater that we went to had a special mystery movie showing. We didn't know anything about what it was. Only thing we knew was that it was rated R and about 2 hours long. And it ended up being a early screening of the movie. We got to see it on the Monday, the week that it came out. So it came out on Friday. We got to see it on Monday. That's pretty cool. So Merrick and I have the privilege of seeing this movie from first time we're seeing it to really analyzing it the second time around. And then on top of that, we'll be taking a look at the original Alien movie, celebrating its 45-year anniversary this year. And then following it up with the Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. So, yeah, I think without further ado, let's roll into our first movie, Boy Kills World.
Absolutely.
Mr.
So, Boy Kills World is a movie where Boy, is the name of the main character, is a mayhem machine who's been trained to assassinate the bloodthirsty Hilder Vanderkoy and avenge his family's murder. Guided by his sister's mischievous spirit, Boy uncovers one stunning revelation after another as he barrels towards Hilda.
Said Hilder the first time.
That's what I thought it was, Hilder.
You said
That's what I was
Hilder.
No.
You got that Hilder?
Anyways,
Well, it sounded like they said it a couple times. It was a little hard to make out the thing.
You're
Hilda. We'll say
reading
Hilda,
it.
just because I am.
You're reading
yes.
it off the thing, and you still said Hilder.
Well, I apologize. Anyway, moving on. Okay.
he apologizes.
So, right off the bat, this movie visually, just on its own visually, was stunning.
Yeah, I'm gonna come forth right away. This movie was fucking prime. I can't stress that enough.
Straight gas. Straight gas.
Shit was great.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love this.
So there's actually a very, very huge twist in the movie. So we'll be segmenting this into the spoiler-free part, talking about the parts that happen, more early in the movie before the spoiler, or the stuff we liked about it in general, before we get into our thoughts on the twist itself and everything after the fact.
Yeah.
So before we get into sucking this movie's dick into oblivion, I do want to bring up one thing that I felt negative about this.
Okay.
A lot of the fight scenes, they didn't have shaky cam, but they had speedy cam. Like the camera was moving really fast, and like it's not as prevalent in some scenes. Like the later fight scenes you're able to see, but definitely that first fight scene in like the gun warehouse where he meets Basho.
Yeah.
That one is very, very hard to keep track of what's actually happening on screen.
That's fair. I loved that first scene. Like I actually
Yeah,
loved that first scene.
it's good.
Mhm.
It's just the camera's moving really fast, and it's hard to actually keep up with what's what moves are being done, and
I will
like the
say,
action. It's only
I
a
will
couple
say,
fight scenes that do
yeah.
that, but most of them are pretty good and well done.
I will say I wonder if that was intentional solely because I know this from my perspective. Like I noticed that it was moving really quick, so it made me like lock in and focus on the fight scenes. Like I was picking up like I was more focused. I don't know if that was intentional, but that's like
I
it being
I wouldn't
fast helped me lock in and like really pay
I
attention.
wouldn't say I wouldn't say lock in at all. I would say more than it was, you know, moving too fast
That's
is
fair.
is what I was saying. But really that's really the most negative thing I can even say about this movie. I thought all the characters were really, really well done. Um,
Yes.
Basho
The
and Benny,
character.
Basho was super energetic and fun. Benny, like his whole gimmick of like he mumbles his words, so Bill Skarsgård's character, who's deaf and mute, like he can't read his lips, so it just sounds like gibberish the whole time.
Yeah.
As I think
Mhm.
that's really funny.
Kaplinky.
Kaplinky.
That I will
That's right,
say
Kaplinky.
that was another thing. That was my one negative thing about this movie. But I give it a pass. Like it's such a small thing and I gave it a pass. But like the
What?
fact that he's deaf and mute, so he gets things through reading
No,
people's
no,
lips.
no, no. What is the negative?
Like okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting to it.
Oh,
My only
okay.
negative about in conjunction with the fact that he reads lips is that there were so many scenes where people were talking and like because the whole thing is from his point of view. So, but like, there are some scenes where he's not even looking at the people talking, and you still get the like he still has those. Now, I'm
Right.
I
I believe it's more like a first person, or like it's like a third person limited, so it's kind of like a narrator, because you have the narrator, it's Bob Berger, right?
yeah
But
yeah
it's not going to be one to one. Like you can't
yeah
make the movie with them
that's fair.
constantly facing towards him. They'd have to. So I mean,
So
it's more like the
Yeah.
practicality, not like
yeah,
actually
Or
he's not looking at
letting
but
them.
uh
yeah.
letting the audience know what's going on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But the best thing about it is this is in that same vein, my other favorite thing about this and it's what I took away from the movie is that every single person's voice that we hear in this movie is made up in his head.
What?
Like okay, like he doesn't know if it is so because of the way that I was seeing the movie that we're hearing everything the way he does. He doesn't hear things. He talks like when Benny talks, he can't figure out what he's saying. So like the voices that everyone has in the movie in my like I thought were just the voice like what he thinks they sound like.
I don't think they put that much effort
Well, like there's the
into
scene
it.
where like Benny where like he's crying. Where like Basho's crying and
Right,
like
that's more like
he
a
just says like,
you're reading way too far into this.
okay,
Is what's
okay. Oh, I
happening.
I liked the idea that all the characters' voices were like made up in his head. Like the way they sound is just made up by him. That was just the personal headcanon I had, and I thought it was funny. Like,
Right.
he met Basho, and Basho was like super fast talking and super that, so he gave him like this really like ha 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 voice. Like,
Made
but
him British on purpose.
yeah, I don't know.
Alright.
It's just it was just the way I saw it. My bad. Never mind. Continue on. But
I,
go
I
ahead
don't know. I
and
feel like they would have like brought that up, like like if that was like an intentional thing. I believe that they would have made jokes about that. Like, wow, this guy's talking really
okay, fair
fast. I
enough.
wonder what his voice sounds like, and then they would do.
Mhm.
Okay, fair. I don't know. This is the way
Not not
I
not
interpret it.
yeah, not like shooting your interpretation or your thoughts down. I'm just saying, like, I don't believe that that was an intentional thing, because I feel like if it
Okay.
was, they could have done way more jokes about it.
They could have, yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just I thought it was funny that would be what he had. But anyway, moving
Yeah.
on to the actual like I feel like I'm steering here. Why don't you guys take over actually?
Yeah, so like I was saying, like I think all the characters were done very well, but I think that one that was a super enjoyable, like I'm so glad they didn't fuck it up, was June 27. The
Yes.
Mhm.
like bodyguard for the Vanderkoys. Um
Mhm.
because A, her helmet that like displays words, like she talks through her helmet, that's not only is that like just cool in general, but that's really cool when she's fighting Bill Skarsgård, because he can't read her lips in the helmet, so he like
Yeah.
just reads it off of her face. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
second of all, like it's so satisfying to see them not fuck up a strong female character for once.
Oh yeah, like she
Yeah.
was super like
Like
"Grr."
she was interesting, she was cool to watch fight, and she wasn't fucking annoying at all. Because like most of
Yeah.
the times when you see media do like the quote unquote strong female character stereotype, they just shave half their head and then act
Yeah.
like they're better than everyone, especially every man.
Yeah.
But like I'm
Yeah.
so glad they didn't go that route and they just had her be
No, she's just
straight up
actually a badass.
cool and actually a badass
Actually.
in her own right.
Yeah.
Like they didn't bring up the fact like, yeah, I'm the number one fighter even though I'm a woman or whatever. Like that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a part of it. They just let it naturally be cool. And that's a
Yeah.
thing that I
Yeah.
think movies are
Cool.
not
That's
getting.
another in that same vein. I really liked that they had it because like the whole thing of the Vanderkoys, it's basically a totalitarian government, and
Yeah.
like I like that most of the family are women, and they didn't make that
Mhm.
a major thing. Like the head
Yeah, it's
of
just
the revolution of the rebel not revolution, whatever the hell you call it. Like
the
she is a
regime.
woman regime. Thank you. She was a woman, but she wasn't powerful because she was a woman. She was powerful because she was a fucking dictator.
Yeah.
Like
Like they
like it
really
was.
didn't
Go
like
ahead.
they really kept the feminist shit out of this movie, and it would have been so easy to put it in this movie. And I'm
Yes.
just glad that it was what it was, and they
Yes.
played it
Mhm.
so naturally. It just felt right. It was really good. I
Yeah.
think and like this goes towards, now that we've brought up like the government like system and like the
Mhm.
powerhouse of that family. I think this movie did something very well that a lot of movies also fail on doing, and that is properly establishing the world right away.
Yes.
Because I
They
look, it only takes 10 minutes to catch you up on what this world is like, how it's being controlled, who's in charge and what they do, and then B, who our main character is, what his problem is, and where he's at, and what his goals are. They get that through to you clear, concisely, and humorously, all in the first 10 minutes of the movie. And
what the
that's
most
more than you
amazing
can
thing.
say for things like Dune, where I've
Yeah.
seen both movies and I still have no idea what the government system or what the politics are.
Yeah.
And this just
Yeah.
gets it lays everything out for you, and it doesn't feel like exposition. It feels like, setting the stage for what's going to happen. And they do it very well.
What's even better is that they don't bog you down with they set it up without giving you a fucking 50-year history lesson.
Right, they don't
Like
like they don't like encumber you with lore.
Yeah, they literally just go, "This is what the world is. Accept it." Like that's what it is. Like you don't need to know how it got here. You just know this is what it is. This is the setting. You don't need to know everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Mhm.
really cool. What was the other thing? But more on character wise, like I I loved literally everyone in this. Like I agree. I loved everyone in this movie.
Right. You
Like one of
liked
my
all the
favorite.
characters you're supposed to like, and you hated all the characters you were supposed to hate. And none of them were
Mhm.
just like bad. None of them were bad, I don't think, at
No,
all.
none. And
Yeah.
even like, oh god, it was. This movie was an emotional roller coaster. It really was. We'll get more on why later, but it really was. Like I went through so many different like emotions about so many different characters to this movie, and it was great. But let's see here. What was the other thing? I'm losing it. Um,
Well, while you're thinking on that, I'd like
Mhm.
to bring up the fact that I don't know who's directly in charge. Maybe the director, the writer, whoever is responsible for
Sam Raimi
the
was involved in
majority
this,
of this.
wasn't he?
He was a producer, I believe.
Okay. Oh,
But the guys in charge of this movie are fucking violence geniuses.
oh my
I'll tell you
god,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
The fight with Dave, who has problems, and he just keeps
Yes.
getting back up after like what would be
Yeah.
like, the kill shot, and then he gets back up and continues fighting, and he even rips his own arm out of a vice to come at him again. Is crazy. I thought that was
Yeah.
really good. The kitchen
What's
That
scene.
was like
Yo,
a trash compactor.
yeah, that was
What's
a
even
trash
better?
compactor, and he squishes his arm in it, and then he literally
Oh,
like rotates his entire body and just rips his like wrist off of his hand, and then continues to fight.
I thought that was a press
And
Yeah.
then
break. But anyway,
the
there was some
I'm not
before you
done.
move on to the kitchen scene though, actually. Hold
Okay,
on.
go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
do want to mention one thing that I loved about the Dave scene. Uh that
Yeah.
the coolest thing, the one of the coolest things I like about it is that they he kept taking a huff of whatever drugs is in that thing, and like that kept him going, but they never established the drugs in the
Bro,
world. Like they never.
that's just his vape.
Yeah, but like what I mean is like you knew
Like
that they got it
yeah,
across.
you see more than just him hitting that thing. So it's just kind of
Yeah.
there. Like that's like whatever the addictive substance is in this lore, and they don't really
Yeah.
explain
And
Yeah,
it because
it's not.
they don't really need to actually.
no, they don't.
Yeah.
But I like that you can pick up that that's what's like. Yeah, he has problems, but like also like I like that he just keeps hitting it throughout the thing, and I was like, oh, he's just taking more and more drugs to get through like to do this, and he just goes absolutely fucking apeshit. But they didn't need to explain to you what this drug was or where it came from or what its actual effects are. It's just dog is fucking taking drugs and kicking ass or
Bro,
attempting to kick ass.
Mhm.
let's be real. It's fentanyl.
It's fent, yeah, it's 100%.
It's fent.
It,
It's fent,
he's vaping.
bro.
He's vaping fent.
It's vaping fent, dude. They're all vaping fent. That's what it
They're
is.
all vaping fent. Fent vape.
But more on the
Oh
action. The
yeah.
craziest scene is the kitchen scene where
Ah,
Yeah.
Bill
ah,
Skarsgård is armed with a
God.
cheese grater. Can I talk
Ah.
without you
Yeah.
doing that? Control
No, I'm
yourself.
sorry. I'm sorry, but like that whole scene made my skin crawl in the best way possible.
Yeah, me too, but I'm able to talk about it like a human without.
Ah.
You're a silly man, Isaac. And that's what we like about you. Anyways, that is a good point though, because even though Merrick and I have already seen this movie, as I've said, it still
Mhm.
gets me the second time around First of all, because I had forgotten about it. And then he brings out the cheese grater, and then everything comes rushing back, and I'm like, oh yeah. But literally, you feel everything he does with that. Because he like slashes someone across the face with it. The nastiest thing is he grabs someone and tucks it underneath their armpit, and then just rips it right out.
Oh my god, that's
It
just
is nasty. Like, if you thought um Evil Dead Rise was bad when they whipped out the cheese grater, that shit was nothing. That was
that was
pussy shit compared to Boy Kills World.
oh my god. See, it's one of those things where the hits
Like,
just kept coming as well. Like the movie didn't give you a chance to breathe in those scenes until the fight was over. And then you're just
right?
left sitting there horrified.
Even though I've seen this movie before, even second time around, it's still every single time he hit someone with the cheese grater and did that, like it's still my entire body like seized up in like grotesque reactions.
Dude,
And
it has to be said, Bill Skarsgård can play a fucking action hero. Like my
oh
god, just
my god,
put this man in more shit.
he's on a list of stuff to look out for because he's playing an action hero in this movie. He's playing an action hero in The Crow that comes out later this year. He was a villain in an action movie in The Last John Wick. He was one of the protagonists in a horror movie in Barbarian, and he was like of the most popular antagonists in horror of all time as
Mhm.
Pennywise. He has
Yeah.
I know people go on and they say, oh, so and so has range. Oh, the range of this guy. But this guy, seriously, like not just like, oh, he can play funny, he can play scary, he can play whatever. He can play the good guy and the bad guy in multiple different genres of film, and he nails it every single time.
Yeah.
I love like this man needs to be in so much more shit, and I want him to be in so much more. Like I want a whole slew of action movies with this man in it now. Like I really, really do. I want
Well,
to see
they
this
got him
movie
cut
obliterate people.
this year. He is so ripped this year, and they
Yeah.
squeezed two action movies out of it so far. He could be in more stuff coming out this year, and if he keeps that figure, they might be able to keep him around for more action stuff in the future.
Yeah, what was even
Yeah.
crazier is it looked like 90% like of the scenes. I mean, I couldn't sense like there were scenes where obviously a stunt double was used, but there were a lot of scenes where like I'm like that's actually him. Like he's actually doing
Yeah,
this. Like that's really impressive.
I mean, he got cut for it. It wasn't just for show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Did
So,
I have any more
does
points
anyone? I
I
wanna,
wanted to
I
bring up?
wanna, yeah, I wanna open up the floor for anyone to say anything else before we get to the spoiler section and talk about the twist. Merrick?
Uh,
Um. I mean, I don't have uh a whole lot of stuff that hasn't already been said. Like I liked all the characters
this
and stuff.
is yeah, all the
Yeah.
rest of the stuff I have to talk about is all in conjunction with the twist. Like I have a
All
lot
right,
more to
Yeah.
say when it comes to the twist, actually.
all right.
Like that's
So,
where a lot of my talk about this movie for was.
without further ado, we officially enter spoiler territory. To
Spoiler
summarize,
warning.
yes, to summarize the great twist of the movie, it turns out that the man who had been training Bill Skarsgård stole him and brainwashed him. He was the one who made him deaf and cut out his tongue. He trained him to kill Hilda Vanderkoy because Hilda Vanderkoy killed his family. And it turns out that Bill Skarsgård isn't like his mom and sister aren't dead. his mom is Hilda Vanderkoy. He's been training this kid to kill his own mom and brainwashing him into thinking that he's someone else. And to top it all that, his dead sister, who he's been seeing, like, phantoms of the whole movie, isn't even dead. His sister is June 27 with the helmet. And
Yeah.
I gotta say, this twist is probably one of the best twists in movies, especially this year and last year. This is one of the greatest twists in an action movie since since Old Boy.
Yeah. So
Okay?
you want to? So here's why this twist was so good for me. Like, this movie is amazing. Like, this twist is great. But you want to know what really got me with this twist?
What's up?
Is that the whole movie, there was literally one single thing that bugged me about the whole freaking movie. I mean,
Yeah.
there was the one
What?
scene explaining it, like, but it bugged me that I'm like, how the fuck did he escape? Like, I know there was that scene where, like,
Well,
you
okay,
know,
so
he flashed back.
okay, so to clarify, there's the scene where he's standing at the kill line and Hilda shoots his mom and his sister and they fall dead, but she doesn't shoot him. So then in like flashing images, you see Hilda Vandekoy burning out his ears with a poker and cutting out his tongue. And then later on, you see all three of them, including him, strung up by nooses from a tree. So she killed the other. The narrative that the shaman crafted was that she killed the mother and the daughter, and hung them up, and then she tortured him and then hung him up to strangle to death. And then that's when the shaman
Yeah.
came in and rescued him.
Okay, so up until that point, I was sitting there like, it doesn't make sense. How the heck did he escape? And then they had that, and I kind of dismissed it a bit. But there's another thing. There's only one thing I saw coming in this movie. Literally only
What's up?
one. And that's June
What?
27 was his sister. Now, here is why it
Okay.
is so elegant for me on that, though, is because I was right, but in the wrong way.
How you
Like,
mean?
that's the cool thing. Well, because what I thought was going to happen, because I thought from the even from the trailers, like, that's going to be his sister. Like, his sister wasn't really dead. Like she turned, like, she took his sister, brainwashed her,
So
and like they like forced her to fight for her or whatever, like, and stuff like that. But in reality, it flipped the script on me. It was like I thought that June 27 was the one that was brainwashed. Like, she was being brainwashed to fight people
Mm-hmm.
for like that, and like she just doesn't recognize her brother because of time or whatever, or something like that. But in reality, it's him who's brainwashed, and it's still his sister. But like
yeah,
it completely flipped the script on what I thought it was going to be, and it left me dumbfounded.
Mm-hmm. I
yeah.
think. Oh, go ahead, Merrick.
I was thinking the same thing. I kind of figured out the twist during the fight in the dining room with her,
Mhm.
and I was thinking, oh, the shaman took him, and then the Vanderkoys took her, and then trained her or whatever. I didn't. So we were kind of thinking the same thing, Isaac.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was thinking that they like these were just two siblings forced to fight each other by this, but I did not. I mean, I figured the shaman wasn't a good dude, but like we've seen like like weird weird man in woods teaches person to fight. You know, like that's a common trope. Like, so you
Mm-hmm.
don't think that he's the bad guy in this. And even
I mean,
so,
still technically he's not.
yeah, he's not. Like, they killed his fucking family, but like at the same time, he brutally tortured and like brainwashed this child over years. And
It's true.
like the only characters by the end of the movie, besides the ones that like you're supposed to like I trusted nothing. Like there was only 2 characters in the movie that changed for me. I were like, "Oh, I like this guy now." Like went from bad to good. He's the only character that went from good to bad in my eyes. Like
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
really cool. Like it's very
I
it's a very underused trope.
I think they build this twist up very well because the fact that like the haunted memory of his sister kind of follows him throughout the whole movie. Like he keeps seeing
Yeah.
Mhm.
like PTSD of his sister, like not even like just the um like the little ghost of her that's following him around,
Like he's like
but
yeah.
also he gets like those flashes of her like hanging by her neck from a tree dead. So like it nails into your head that his
He's
sister
dead.
is dead, his mother is dead, and he's got to kill these people. So like they literally spell out the whole time, and then right when he gets down to that room and you see that portrait, it just flips everything. And it's not even an instant understanding because you're just like, wait, what does that mean? And then the mom comes in and breaks down everything, and then the whole time everything was a fucking lie, and then it all clicks into place.
Mhm.
Like they
And
kept it
it's
hidden for so
great.
long. The
It's
best part
great.
about it is the movie also distracts you the whole time. It makes it so like the only
It
reason
does.
I had time to think about that June 27 was his sister was because I already had that preconception going into the movie. If I hadn't had
I
that,
didn't. They didn't.
that's
They didn't allude to that at all in the trailer. I don't think they. I don't believe the trailer even said anything about him, like his sister, because it was like literally
well,
just her on the couch.
I didn't know the movie was going to be more about his sister than it was, which I actually liked. Normally they put like character like that in movies and they're super fucking annoying. She was great. I actually really liked
Yeah,
like the little girl following her. Like that was actually a cute thing to do
Mhm.
and I loved it. But no, I was like there was the thing where it's like they killed my family kind of thing or whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's good. So his sister's gonna be okay. That's cool. 'Cause, like the character that you can't see her face and things like that. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like so that's like I'm interested to see how
oh,
they play that twist though.
where the fuck is your head at? That's immediately what you said for us. Like where you said, "My family is dead." Oh, so they're not dead.
Well, I get that, but I'm like, this movie seems like it's gonna have a twist, and I'm like, that seems like a decent twist. Like they kidnapped his sister and like forced her to do this, so now he's gonna either have to break his sister's programming, or he's going to have to like, or his sister's like gonna end up killing him or something like it would. I was expecting like a somewhat sad thing or something, but like again, what I'm saying is that like I saw that but I saw it in the wrongest way possible.
Yeah, we got that. I'm just surprised that you
Mhm.
saw it at all because they had literally
From
nothing
the
alluding
trailer.
to it. Yeah, from the trailer, there was nothing that he said. He said my family is dead, and you figured out the entire twist.
Well, because I'm sitting here and
And
they're like,
I'm
"Oh,
like, I
that
don't, I
person's
don't
in here
even
a
know how
lot." I
you.
don't know.
It was in there a lot because it was the main character.
I don't know. It's just the I don't know. I'm just like, you know what? I bet that's gonna be his sister. Like it was just a thing. Like it was just a random thought I had, and I ran with it. Like that's all it really
As it
was.
can
Like it
see
was,
into the future.
I guess.
Yeah. And it's
But no,
it's not even it's not even like in Kung Fu Panda where I was literally calling the thing. That's because like from the get go that's gonna have terrible writing. But
yeah.
like this is like the writing in this was amazing. But we've already made that
I don't
clear.
know. It's just a thought I had, and I ran with it, and I was like, "Oh
All
yeah,
right,
like that's just what it is." Like I don't know why. I just did. It's but
Isaac
it again.
Isaac Holmes, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's still
True.
but still, like, me even so, having that having that preconception going into this movie, like, through almost the whole movie and, like, thinking that, and then having it completely
Yeah.
flipped on me made it even
See,
better.
see, now I kind of feel
Yeah.
bad for you that you have that preconception because not expecting that at all made the twist so much better from my
Yeah.
perspective when
Well,
I wasn't even thinking that.
yeah, like I get it from your perspective, but you also have to think like, yes, I was right, but again, because I was so wrong in it and it did it,
No,
like
I
I
get
feel
that.
like I
I'm
got the
just
same
saying.
weight.
That's
Like
that's
it
yeah,
was
I'm
yeah.
not arguing that. I'm not arguing that.
I think it still hit just as hard, in my opinion. Like I feel like it hit,
All right.
but like
All
it
right.
still
All right.
was good. It was still.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
even
matter. It's good.
Okay. All
yeah.
right. Fine. We're not arguing. We're agreeing here.
Yeah. Oh,
Um
what was that, Paul?
Good twist. I was just gonna say it's a good twist because even me and Isaac, who had guessed that was his sister, we still didn't get it 100% right, and there's still
exactly.
the twist of
Yeah,
he's a Vanderkoy too.
exactly. That's the beauty of this. Moral of the story is like no matter how much you predicted, odds are you probably got something that you weren't
There's
expecting.
there is
Yeah,
no way
They may
anyone who watches this movie with any prior knowledge will guess that he is one of them. There's
yeah.
no way. There's nothing alluding to that whatsoever. And it
Mhm.
is such a good final thing. There is only one other thing that like the only rub I had as well. And
Mhm.
this is just something I want to know if I just want to know if I just wasn't paying attention. The magical escape plan thing. Like that was something that his sister had why? Like where like that's the one thing that doesn't translate for me
What? I
after
mean,
the twist. Like why would she make it?
she doesn't
You know what
like
I
the
mean?
because she
family.
didn't.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
She didn't like her mom. She said like it's all a totalitarian hellscape. Like when they were doing the culling thing, she said, "I fucking hate this day."
Yeah. Okay, okay.
they
So
give
it's a
5 fingers to the statue of her mom.
Yeah.
it's a similar it's a still a similar thing. It's just from the thing of okay, I get it. All right. Because I just thought he
Yeah,
was like
I mean,
misremembering things or something like that, but no, I guess that makes more sense. I just hadn't thought of it that way.
yeah,
That
no,
was
those
just that was
memories were real.
real.
Like they just painted over who the mom was.
His
Because like
mom.
even that house that they were in, that was actually their house. Because when all the
Yeah,
yeah,
brainwashing goes away, you see Hilda in that house.
yeah.
So all of his
yeah,
memories with his sister are most likely, untampered with, except the dying one. But that was one thing that last thing I really have to say, is that I think it's very rare to see something like this have a brother sister relationship as the
Yes.
focal point. You don't see that a lot. Normally it's like the action guy and then he saves the girl and then he gets the girl or something like that. But you don't see like a
Or it's like a
brother sister
father son,
relationship or yeah, father son
father
uh
daughter, mother, like
parent
something like that.
sometimes it's parent child. Um but
Very rarely sibling.
a nice brother sister relationship is very rare on screen, and
Yeah.
I thought this was a really good play into that.
It was. It was very well done. I liked that there was no like the love he's having for his sister. They could like it was portrayed very, very well because it's very hard for Hollywood to find the line on that.
Well, yeah,
It's
because
either
it's
they don't put enough emotion into it and it
yeah,
seems flat, or they put too much into it and then it seems creepy. But like
right.
they had it
See,
just perfect enough.
it's really I think the issue is that it's hard to show um a man caring so much for a woman without the possibility of sex on the table. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's not like, "Oh, I love you," like that kind of thing. It's literally like it's like blood bonded and like a lot of Hollywood people don't get that. Like they don't get
I
like
think
the bond between brothers or like a brother and sister dynamic. They don't
you want to
get
know
that.
what
Mhm.
I'm realizing the fact that he kept seeing things. I get like the last time he saw his sister, she was really really young, but like the fact that she is a little girl through most of the movie and that he's also kind of annoyed with her, like the annoyance he has towards her is perfect throughout the movie. I feel like that helps that situation. I'm realizing, like, because
It
it's like
does.
grown man, little girl, and he's annoyed with her the whole movie, so there's not a lot of that. And like the only time you see like the whole like he loves his sister moments are like either moments of duress or like those flashback scenes and
Mhm.
everything. Like that was like it was just portrayed so perfectly, and I loved that. I I still loved all the little things with her, like the part where she's like, "I'm a ninja butterfly," and like in the next scene, she's
Mhm.
like dressed up as it, like, and that was so cute. I loved that. Like that little girl must have had so much fun, like being in this movie.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
even like from the viewpoint that I kind of had of like the ninja butterfly suit is like that's kind of lame and cringe. Like even that Bill Skarsgård character just literally goes, it's like that's lame, that's cringe, and then just walks right past her, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yes.
you don't know
So it's like
how
Yeah.
you don't know
And
he's
how
she
you
is.
don't know how a
self-aware.
disguise works.
It's like that's not how
Yeah.
disguises
She
works.
she is like a little kid too, so
Exactly.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like I don't think you know how a disguise works. I don't think you know how butterflies work. Like I loved that. That was so
Very
cute.
good.
Yeah.
Like that's a perfect little kid thing. Like this movie had so many beats to it that were just so good. Like all the
Mhm.
fight scenes and all the things and like even the double crosses that happen. Let's talk about the Vanderkoy family itself. Like
It is
Glenn.
collapsing under itself.
It is like
Yeah.
that's the best part about this is that it's like this whole thing is like showing the cracks in this family, like, and the fact that what was it? They said that freaking Hilda hadn't left her bunker like since he'd been taken or something, or like five
Yeah,
years or
because
something
she's
like that.
paranoid schizophrenic
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Her sister's
and
been
like
running literally everything for her. Her sister's
ah
husband is just like a poster child, and then the brother is literally just he's given up completely
yeah.
because
So
he's like, we won
Yeah.
decades ago.
yeah,
The problem
and we're
is
still
like
going.
reinforcing that we've won,
Yeah,
is keeping up this facade, and then he's just like, we're fucking done. Maybe it's time for it to be over.
yeah.
And
The other.
Mhm.
speaking of, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You sound like you had more on the Vanderkoys. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, speaking of time for things to be over, let's get to the rankings. But if you have one more thing
Oh,
to get
I,
in
I have
here,
one more thing. That final fight when it's them against the shaman was
yes, we
such
almost
a
forgot.
good
How could
final
we?
fight. Like, oh my
It
god!
was
Like, there's so many things to talk about with it. Like the
tiny, tiny little negative thing. They lost a lot of blood, and they got
they
like
did.
a lot of like fatal injuries that they absolutely should have
Mhm.
like died of or bled out from, but they
Yeah,
still lived at the end. But all that
but
can
that's
be
just
put
action
aside
movie
because
shit.
the action, it is, but the action is off the fucking chain when they fight up against the
Yeah.
shaman.
Oh, dude, like the part where he just kind of like locks in and he's like, well, hold on. Let's lead up to that because there's the part where June 27 goes after him and like the fight seems to be going decent and then he like grabs the helmet and just bashes into it over and over again, like
Yeah,
breaking it, and then like grabs a
Yeah.
portion of it from
Oh.
his fucking head and like
Yeah, like
uses that.
he reels his head
Yeah.
back from that, and you see there's a giant glass shard stuck into the skin of his forehead, and he pulls it out and uses that as a weapon.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The part that
Mhm.
sticks with me the most, the one that got the most visceral reaction out of me, is when he's fighting Boy, and then he grips onto his arm, and Bill Skarsgård has to literally lift up this entire man and then bash him down
Yes.
onto the ground, and he picks him up again, and he just smashes him straight into the concrete wall. Like that
Yeah,
gutturally, viscerally
Like
got
that was
me.
such a
he's got the
good,
whole guy on his arm, and he smashes his head on the
such a
wall.
good show of how strong he is. Like how actually strong he is. Like the
Yeah.
action in the movie was really, really like the action in the movie up to this point
Mhm.
was like, oh yeah, he's punching them and like whatever, and he's like he's killing people. Cool,
Shooting
whatever.
people,
Typical
stabbing
action shit.
people,
But
cheese
that really
grating
shows you like
people.
yeah, but that shows you like, oh, this fucker is like strong, strong. Dude's got the ultimate sleeper build. Like, damn. But like the other things of like the shaman was like using his toenails and like digging into like wounds that already existed.
Yeah.
Like
Ew.
and like
Mhm.
the part that really got me is the part where like he gets the hook and he just like rips open the dude's like boy's
Oh
arm and
yeah.
his leg. Like
Mhm.
I was a little sad because I couldn't tell. Like I couldn't tell if they still had those like as they walked away, like because there was just so much blood. Like you can't tell. I couldn't tell if they kept that detail on him, but it was still like when it happened, I'm like, that's one of those moments, like you said, like that should be a fatal wound. Like that was all the way up, like
Mhm.
vertical on his
Like
wrist.
those are like that's like famously how people kill themselves is like
Yeah,
is like slitting your forearm all the way top to bottom, and like he got one of that on
Mhm.
his arm and one like literally from the top of his
like in
thigh
his
to the
femoral
to his
artery, or like right
Yeah.
through his femoral
literally from
artery.
the top of his thigh all the way down to his ankle he got slashed
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like
with glass always.
I also liked the callbacks to his training with the shaman in the fight, like because there was the
Yeah.
scene like in the beginning of the movie where the shaman was training him how to fight with like a knife and a blade by like tying them together, so they had to stay in close combat, and like that moment,
Mm.
that fight scene at the end of the movie where they're fighting with the blades and where he's like got the hook in his hand and everything, and they're fighting, like they stay within that distance between each other like almost that whole time. Like,
Yeah.
or the part where like, oh, the other part that I really loved was when like he was like mid-air, like he tried to punch him away. Like the shaman tried to like punch him away from him, and like as he was flying away, he grabbed the shaman's head and like rammed it into his knee.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah. Brutal,
like
Mhm.
brutal shit. And
it
it
was
goes
such
on for a while. Like
yeah,
it is a
like
good long fight. They put fucking effort into that shit. And
dude,
it absolutely feels like a
Yeah.
fucking boss fight in a video game.
it was
So they hit the nail
so
on the head
Mhm.
with that.
all the different just all the different things that this movie, like we could talk about a million different little things and still miss another million because this movie just has so much in it.
Yeah.
It's oh,
So
Mhm.
basically, you guys gotta go see it for yourself.
yeah, like we've talked enough on it, but like the only way you're gonna get everything is to go and see it. It's so good.
So
Definitely go and see it.
exactly. So that being said, let's head over to the rankings. We've been talking absurdly long about this movie, but well worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mo,
So
you want to kick
I'm
us off?
yeah,
Oh,
let's get Mo going first.
yeah, let's get Mo going first.
All right. I am gonna go first and say I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. This is one of my favorite movies.
Whoa. Better than
Yeah.
Godzilla minus one?
Um,
Ooh,
I'd
hold
actually
on.
have to. I'd have to
You'd
check
have
what
to
I gave
check.
Godzilla minus one.
You're crazy. I don't think it beat out
No,
Godzilla minus one.
Godzilla minus one is also a 10 out of 10. I think I gave it.
I think
You
it's way.
should.
I think Godzilla is way better than this. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Fantastic movie. Definitely going to buy it. I think little here and there issues like the speedy cam or like they absolutely should have died from that, or just little tiny bits and pieces. I think that could have been just a little bit better here and there, or certain aspects of it. But really, really, there's so much to look into and so much to enjoy about this.
Yeah. Me. Uh, I actually landed right in the middle of both of you because I gave this movie a 9 out of 10. This is only the second 9 I've given this year. But this is. I loved this movie so much. It was almost a 10. It was almost a 10. But I just. There were a couple things that like we discussed and everything, but other than that, like this movie is almost a perfect action movie. Like it really is.
Mm.
It's
Um,
definitely one of the
I
better like man on a rampage movies that I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
mhm. One thing I do want to add, uh, it is a first-time director. This is the first
Yeah.
movie that the director has directed.
Wait, like
Yeah, I
actually,
couldn't
really?
believe that. Yeah, this is his first time
Moritz Moore.
directing.
Dude, we need to put this dude on a board. Like, watch out for this shit.
Mhm.
Like, holy hell. That was so good.
I'm looking at his thing. He directed like 2 shorts. This is his first movie.
Yeah, he did like 3 shorts and a TV series, but this is the first movie.
Nice.
Mhm.
This
All right.
is amazing. I loved it.
You'll love to see it. Moving on into Alien, the original 1979 movie. Uh, I don't think we really need a synopsis for this. It's 45 years old. If you had never heard of Alien before, who are you?
Yeah.
If you
But
never heard of Alien before, you are an alien
Yeah,
from
you
outer
are.
space.
that's
Yeah, you
true.
are.
If you never heard of Alien before, that equals you, dude.
Yeah, that he goes you.
Um,
It's a
right.
documentary at this point.
All right.
All
But
right.
let's not pretend that none of us have seen it before in theaters before now, because somehow we went
Mhm.
our whole lives, all three of us, not seeing the Alien movie or any of
I've
them
seen
Right.
actually.
like I've seen like small clips and still frames from the movie, but
Yeah,
never the actual movie.
I've seen the chest burster scene, but that's pretty much it.
The only other
I've
scene,
seen Spaceballs.
yeah, the only
You've
other
seen
scene
Ben
I
10
saw,
Alien Force with the DN aliens, Mag.
yeah,
That's true.
the only other scene that I saw in this movie was the like I knew the whole like Ripley with the tank top and the thing and her
In the butt
holding
crack?
like yeah
In the butt
like
crack.
that like
Isaac
I
knows
that's
about
the
the
only
butt
other thing
crack
I
scene.
saw.
I wonder why, you guys.
Hey, hold up.
You found that video on a black and orange website, didn't you?
No, I did not. She didn't have enough ass in that scene to make it on there.
She had a crack. It was
Jeez.
1979.
Yeah, that's risque for 1979.
It's true.
But anyway, more on the movie itself. This was like it's definitely a product of its time.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like in 1979, this goes hard. 1979.
Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
much.
Nowadays,
Go ahead.
nowadays not so much. If you made this movie like brand new in 2024, I think it would not get a whole lot of good reviews.
There is one of my favorite things about this. You wanna know what I drew a similarity to with this movie? This was kind of like
So,
when we went and saw not Friday, yeah, Friday the 13th in theaters. Because,
in what way?
like, in the sense that you can tell that there's a lot of stuff that is done nowadays because this movie did it.
Oh yeah, like
Like,
literally, and not even like reference or homages, because literally alien eggs are fucking everywhere. Like I said, Ben 10 Alien Force, Wreck-It
yeah,
Ralph, uh,
Mm-hmm.
references to it everywhere.
yeah,
Like it's a like a global phenomenon. Like everyone
yeah.
parodies
Everyone
and
knows what
at least
Alien
knows
is.
about Alien. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm talking not even just references, but like not necessarily even like just the way things are shot and the way that things are like done. Cause like there are the suspense this movie builds. Granted, it takes a while to get there, but trying to watch it from this viewpoint of I already know stuff about what's going on. You know, like I know what a face hugger is. I know like
Mm-hmm.
like this stuff. Like I know like him messing with that egg. Like I know the procedure. I know where this is going, where this is gonna end up. But the the way the movie just builds stuff. It's hard to describe it, but it felt like I was watching something done originally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was watching a source material for something. Like I
Well,
can't
yeah, because
exactly place it.
that's what this was. That's what it is. Like this is where I had the same feeling when we watched the Mission Impossible movies, gearing up for the
Yeah,
new one.
yeah,
Because when you go into the first ever Mission Impossible movie and you hear the dun 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 dun, like the music song,
yeah,
it's so weird that that's not a reference to anything. Like this is where that's from. This is the source
yeah,
material. And
yeah.
it's
Like
got
Mm-hmm.
it's got the same feeling with Alien, because like you're not
this
watching
is
like, ooh, let's see what happens. It's like, ooh, let's see where it all started.
yeah. Like the
Yeah.
thing I'm trying to get at is like there is that like this is the sci-fi alien movie that spawned the like all the others. Like everything we know today
Yeah,
of like sci-fi horror is because this movie existed.
yeah. Like
Like
I've seen the
Mm-hmm.
movie Life. You know the movie Life with Ryan Reynolds
I
and
love
Jake
the movie
Gyllenhaal?
Life. I've
Yeah,
told you that several times that I love that movie.
right, right. It's you can see uh the impacts from the Alien movie. Like you can see like, oh yeah, so I get it. Like they're like you can see the parallels of where they're borrowing stuff from this movie. And then you get
Yeah,
to the rest of the movie and you see like other aspects of other sci-fi movies, all like it's like a family tree. It's all coming converging back to this
yeah.
one. All aspects of other
I will
sci-fi
say,
movies are all stemming out of this one.
yeah. So there, I want to say something about this movie that I actually really like about a lot of other like movies that came out of this era, sci-fi movies specifically, is that you can tell they obviously didn't think technology would advance too much further. Or at the very least, they couldn't fathom how far technology would come because they're still using like giant computers and like the what was it like the
Like
vector
quantum.
algorithm thing like when they were coming onto
Yeah.
the planet with like the
Yeah.
freaking like the
Yeah, all
squares
the
and everything.
all the computers were super ancient.
See, here's the thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to make a movie today, but like intentionally try to make it that way, I would love the hell out of it. Like,
Yeah.
I like that aesthetic. The aesthetic of that is so cool. I really like it. Cause like that's kind of lost these days. Cause now with CGI and shit like that, you can just do whatever the fuck you want, and you don't have to stick to that like that kind of thing. Like you just kind of pick some weird technology thing and run with it. You can do whatever you want.
Mhm.
But this was just a big fuck ass ship. Because that's just as big as they could make it. Like,
That's true.
and like,
You don't
that's what it
even
was.
y- you don't even really get a grasp of how big it is until like they cut into the face hugger and it starts eating through the floor and they're like, go down to the fourth level, and I'm like, four levels? How big is this thing? Where are you
Yeah,
guys?
that was one thing that you can tell didn't really translate well. Like in this, again, in the 80s, this would have floored you. But like, having seen miniature work done in other movies, like you can tell that's what it is. Like that's all
Right,
this is. Like it was
right.
very
Mhm.
painfully obvious. So and they didn't show the scale very well. Like the only time you got close to a sense of scale, in my opinion, was when it did the pan under the ship.
Yeah,
Like
that was pretty
that,
cool.
and then that scene you mentioned, and then the scene where Ripley is escaping the ship. Cause like that thing is a rocket ship in space. Like it is a rocket shuttle in space, zooming away from this thing, and it takes a good like couple seconds to just like it takes a little bit to clear it. Like but like all the other scenes, it's just a miniature against a black, like a black drop, like
Yeah,
backdrop, and it
yeah, we get
just
it.
it was just obvious.
I
But
mean, they had the
again,
same kind of thing in Star Wars, but like, I
yeah,
mean, at the time, what else were you gonna do? Build a real ship that size and actually send it into space?
well, exactly.
Exactly. I
Like
mean, they were
like
again, again, it's a product of its time. They were doing the best they can, and the best they can was the best that they can.
yeah. You want to know what a good? Do you want to know what a good like
No,
comparison is? The original
no.
Tron.
Yeah, exactly. The original Tron was like it was a revolutionary thing in the day.
But it like to us, like to someone
Mhm.
watching it nowadays, it looks like shit.
I watched it like 2 months ago, and I was like, whoa, that looks rough. But like, I was
Yeah,
talking about it with
Mhm.
my dad, and he's like, yeah, but at the time, that was like brand new. And that's like the thing about this. Like, you'd have to look at movies like Alien as like as products of their time, right?
yeah,
Um,
Mhm.
Now, granted, there are some movies that extend beyond that, like The
yeah,
Thing that also has like similar
Yeah.
aspects of it and like came out like 45 years ago as well. But everything in there like completely still stands up. All the special effects are still amazing to this day. Um, but
Yeah.
Alien, their creature design is impeccable. Their
Mhm.
not just like how it looks, but like the entire life cycle of it that they establish is super interesting. And I mean, it's a
yeah,
xenomorph cultural icon. Everyone knows how cool this thing is. They've got like
yeah.
9 movies
Yeah.
now. But major downfalls in the movie a lot of people tend to overlook just because it's a classic. For me,
Yeah.
I could not focus on the movie itself until
Mhm,
like they find the dead alien body in the ship,
mhm.
and most of that's
Yeah.
because it's a lot of people talking about not really anything in particular, and then they cut to them walking for a long time, like a very long
Yeah.
shot of them just walking on a planet, and then they cut back to more people talking about not important stuff, and then they cut back to them walking some more on the planet for a long time. Uh, and then
Yeah.
an- I was really like not feeling it until they found
Yeah.
the alien. Then it started kicking into high gear and really got interesting. Um, Only other like big negative thing I can get at, and I have no idea what they were actually going for with this. But the reveal of Ash being a robot,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they don't establish that robots are a thing at all. So just randomly
No.
the science leader of this ship just starts attacking her, and then he gets his fucking head punched off, and there's tubes and white goo spewing everywhere, and
I
you
did
just
not.
have no idea.
I did
You
not
have
read that as
no idea.
robot at first.
Exactly. I thought, oh, is this like the
Yeah.
thing? Is he like, did the alien get to him? And I don't know if that's what you're supposed to think. You're supposed to think like, oh,
Yeah.
he's an alien too. He's like, he's infected or something. Like you're supposed to freak out, and then they're like, no, it's fine. He's a robot, and you're like, whoa, what? What's this about? Oh, like you calm down a bit, like, oh, I guess this is normal here. But like they didn't. Again, like I guess this is normal here because they
With
didn't
the
establish that robots exist in this future at all.
big giant ancient computers and also robots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cause they have the super old computers, and they also have space travel, and then they also have like, you know, sleep chambers. But then, I don't know. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
perfect looking human androids would have been something that they would establish or at least mention.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
They even
why
had
can't?
AI.
But
Yeah, they had
didn't
an
even.
AI on this ship. Like they could have had one of the
Yeah.
engineering guys say something like, you could have just is like, oh, this is like one of the only ships that won't just use an android or something. I don't
Yeah.
know, just an offhand comment or a discussion about the
Yeah.
existence of androids or something.
Yeah.
The other gripe I had about this was that the alien itself was not on screen nearly long enough.
Isaac sounds like that one guy who gave Alien like 9 out of 10. He was like, pretty cool movie, but I wish there was more than one alien. And then like his review for Aliens is 10 out of 10. He's like, guys, holy shit.
Yeah, okay, it's not like what I mean is that the suit looked cool. I
Right.
actually liked the
I
dude in a suit, like that was
Yeah,
cool.
I know what
But
you
like
mean.
but
The
like
design was
what I
very good. But
not only just
Yeah.
that, it's just like the scenes where it would kill someone, like it annoyed me that they did it not once, not twice, but 3 times where it, like, killed someone because, like, you see it doing the thing where it's, like, pulling its lips back, and then it just shoots out its thing, and then it cuts away, and then they're dead.
yeah, you don't get to see it very clearly, which
I am so
again,
excited for the
for
newer ones.
yeah, not Covenant though. We heard that one's bad.
Yeah, but I'm so excited to watch the rest of them because I think we said it in the last podcast that
Ooh.
Alien is that kind of franchise that you need to, like if you didn't watch it as a kid, you need to, like sit down and watch it not necessarily force yourself to watch it, but
But
it's like you need to be in a mood to watch it.
yeah,
Like, and if you don't hit that mood, you're never gonna watch it. And it's like I'm excited to watch the rest of them now because I am very excited to see how this franchise has evolved over what 6, 7 movies and
45
45
years.
years. Yeah,
Yeah,
like this will be
Yeah.
very, very interesting. Plus, I mean, I knew some about xenomorphs because I've watched Alien versus Predator. That I have watched. I watched that with my dad. Like,
real.
that's something that I've seen, and so I know about xenomorphs and stuff. Like, that's no
Everyone
shock
knows
to
about
me.
xenomorphs. Merrick,
So
do
Yeah.
you
like, I'm
have
not.
anything? Merrick, do you have anything else to add before we head off to the rankings?
Um.
I always feel like you're left out a bit here because me and Isaac just get ranting off, and then you just like, yeah, you already said everything.
Yeah, sorry about that, Mo.
No, it's all right. I I did like how they were with the scene with the face hugger, and he's like in a coma or whatever on the table, and they're like like how the face hugger works. I think that's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Like it grabs around the face and shoves like a air tube down the guy's
That
throat.
is one thing that they did very well, and I know that they said it outright, but they actually did it where they rammed home that this is a perfect organism. This is a perfect
Mhm.
killing
Mhm.
organism. It is
And even
designed
Yeah,
to survive at any cost.
yeah, and you notice it
and
too, like when they're trying to remove the face hugger, like the tail wrapped around its neck, the guy's neck
yeah, I
starts
was
like tightening.
about to say
So
it's got his
like
tail ready to strangle him.
Yeah.
right. So like if anything tries to, help pull this off, like it's got like a hey, like I'll kill him. I'll do it. I'll just kill him. Move
Yeah,
on to
like
somebody else.
Mhm.
it's really well done. The only thing that I don't know
Yeah,
about, and I'm sure it'll be expanded more upon in the other movies, is like how like the eggs work. Like, does it lay eggs? Does it make them itself? Like, it's
No,
that I don't know
they
about.
just
But
they actually get the eggs from Narnia fresh.
oh yeah. You're right. You're right. I forgot
Alien
about that.
right.
does not
Movie.
make the eggs, clearly.
Yeah. But anyway,
Let's move on to our
I don't have
silly
anything else.
rankings here.
Yep. To those who are unfamiliar, because it's been a minute since we've done one of these, whenever we go and see a re-release showing or a retro showing, we don't give our standard one through 10 ranking. We have a silly ranking. Just something fun that we can put on it. So, why don't you kick us off, Kel? What's your silly ranking? Oh.
Yeah, so I give this movie one Sigourney Weaver butt crack.
It's funny because my that goes very well with mine because my rating is two flat Sigourney Weaver butt cheeks.
Okay.
I was just gonna give it like 3 face huggers. So I guess I'm the odd one out here.
Oh, alright. Sorry, Merrick, we're not as normal as you.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. To
I
the one
I should have got the memo.
Yeah.
yeah. But moving on to the one I'm excited about here. The Mummy with our boy Brendan Fraser.
Take it away,
This was
Merrick.
Me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Tell us everything.
Uh, everything. Uh-oh. They go to
Uh-huh.
put me on the spot. I gotta remember what the movie was.
We're not asking you to
Oh,
recap the movie, Mo.
Yeah, you
Like,
don't
what
have
do
to
you think?
recap it.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. What did you think?
Like, what
What
did you
is
think
your
about the
favorite
movie?
parts?
First off, had you
yeah.
seen
Oh,
the
I
movie before?
no,
You hadn't.
Oh.
I
no, I
envy
haven't.
you. I envy you incredibly, Mo. I really do.
Yeah, first time seeing the movie.
I envy you incredibly to be able to see this movie in theaters for the first like as your first time seeing it. So what did you think? Like what did you like it?
I did like it. Um, I I do like the uh Egyptian setting for things.
Yes.
Like
Such as
it is such as Moon Knight and stuff.
and the
Yeah.
mummy.
But and
Yeah.
the Mummy.
True. Anyway, carry
But
on.
no, yeah, go ahead.
Um, I gotta remember stuff. Do you guys have anything to say while I think?
Yeah. So because I have a lot to say about this movie. I love this movie. This is a like one of my favorite movies. It's not one of my. It is like in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Like, I actually really love this movie. More for nostalgia reasons. Like, I know by no stretch is this a perfect movie. No, it is not.
Yeah.
But there's a special place in my heart for this movie because I have watched this so many times, and I laugh, and like I just, as I get older and I learn more about movies and I learn more about actors and stuff like that, the more and more I appreciate everything with this movie. Like, it just, at no point has anything ruined this movie for me. Plus, this was Brendan Fraser in the man's prime. Like, back when he was just fucking killing it. Like,
It's
oh,
true.
like the back when he was still just destroying his body for the role. Like, dude is a legend in my eyes. Like, he is so, like, the comeback story he's had recently, like all the shit he went through back then, and like, and the fact that he does like almost pretty much all of his own stunts, like it is, the dude is so admirable, and just I've loved everything he does. Plus, the character he plays in this movie is so hard. Like, the line that he gives where he's like, well, how does it go? The men of my garrison believed in this city so much that they marched into the desert defying orders, and all they found was sand and blood. Like, that is such a hard line, and I get chills every time I hear it, especially delivered by him. Like, he's such a good actor, and I love this movie deeply. Like, I always will. Plus, Evie's a baddie. Anyway.
It's true. I like the part he threw a chair at a guy. That was funny.
Fucking,
That was really funny.
that's my
That was a
favorite part of
good
the
part.
movie. Literally every time. Where he just
I
walks into the
love
room.
the fact that he has like no chill for Benny. Like
None
literally, he
whatsoever.
It's so funny.
first thing he does, like when he like beats him again, is he fucking throws him off a boat. It's not
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
a thing where he goes like, "Uh-oh, man overboard, somebody get him," and walk away. It's like,
See,
no, he just throws him off the boat, and then that's
what?
it. He carries on. The
While
miracle that
I
he makes
love
it
how
through.
much he hates Benny, I also love Benny because he's such a good weasel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's not a character that's done well in live action a lot. Like, it's usually reserved for like animation kind of stuff. Like bring it
Arjit.
back around to Ben 10, Arjit. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
Arjit.
I was thinking Arjit while watching the movie actually.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's who he is.
it's so perfect, and like the like one of my favorite moments in the movie, and it shows you just how much, like, it perfectly encapsulates who he is when he's down in the tomb with the mummy, and like he just starts praying to as many deities as he can. Like, he just pulls the
He
things.
carries every single religious symbol on a different necklace and wears all of them at once.
Yeah, like,
Mhm.
Literally chilling out himself to whatever works.
yeah, like, he's such a good weasel character, and I honestly love his character like a lot because he's so confident sometimes, and then there's other times where he's just a bitch, like,
Yeah.
and it's so good. And then there's even other times where he's actually a somewhat like cold character as well. Like the moment where like he brings the mummy back into the city, and like he's talking with the guy that like who's missing his eyes and his tongue, and he's just like,
Mhm.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, he would like to thank you for your hospitality or whatever, and your eyes and your tongue, but more like that whole
Yeah.
scene that he has is so cold, and I actually love it. Like, it's so well done, and the the visceral nature of this movie is still hard as hell. Like it's still there every time I watch it. Like watching the man get mummified and then get those flesh-eating bugs poured all over him,
Mhm.
like that makes my skin crawl every time I see it.
Yeah. I actually didn't think that The Mummy was bad. Like, I know everyone shits on Dwayne Johnson as the Scorpion King because it looks fucking atrocious, but I think The
Yeah.
Mummy looked really good. Like,
The
even
Mummy's special
nowadays, it
effects were
looks pretty
so
good.
good.
I really like the
Ooh.
part where he's like almost full and he's got that gash in his neck and a gash in his cheek, and a scarab crawls out of his neck and into his
Yeah.
cheek, and then he just crunches on it.
Yeah, that's one
Mhm.
of my favorite things. And there's so many things in this movie that are actually really well done. Like I remember telling you this like while we were watching it. Like one of the coolest things is right at the beginning of the movie where they're panning across the city. And like it's coming down from the top of like the sun down to the pyramids, and you see the city with all the people, and then you see the king drive up and like on his chariot or whatever. And that entire shot is just miniature work. And the only thing CGI in that scene are the people. And
Yeah, and
that's
I
just
remember
really
saying,
cool.
"Shh, the movie's starting."
Yeah, but like it's so fascinating to find
I
stuff
remember,
like
I
that
remember
out.
saying, "Isaac, is this really necessary conversation at the urinal?"
But like
I said, "Isaac, my dick's in my hand. This is not the time for this convo."
but but no, like the special effect work in this movie still holds up to this day.
Yeah, it does. It's pretty good. Like that's when you
Mhm.
know you've done a good job is when like uh the Mummy 25 years old and effects are still pretty good. The Thing, like we were talking about earlier, the effects are still phenomenal. Like that's how you know you've done it right, is after all these years, no matter how many anniversaries of your film there is, the effects still look good.
Yeah, the Mummy franchise, even we're not talking about the Tom Cruise one. Tom, he can go away. But like the trilogy, the Mummy trilogy, I love all three of the movies. Like I actually really do. It's one of the few trilogies that I love. Correction. It's one of the few live action trilogies that I love deeply and dearly, not just because they're a classic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I like Star Wars, and I like Lord of the Rings. Like I am fans of both of those.
Nerd.
But like I don't deeply love them as much as I do the Mummy trilogy just cuz it's just fun. That's the best part. That's the best thing I can say about the movie. It's fun. All three of them are. Like they
Pure
just
raw fun.
Yeah, they you can tell they like I love all the fun that you can tell Brendan Fraser had in this role. Like the part where he just like kisses the girl, like kisses Evie while he's in jail. He's like, "Get me out of here." Or my favorite scene in the movie will always one of my favorite like you can see his character in the movie is the part where Evie gets separated and everything and they're running through trying to get out of the tomb and fucking he finds her, runs up, and turns. He's like, "Whoa!" And like, there's a mummy there, and it roars at him, and he just yells back at it, like,
Yeah, that was great.
like I love that, and then just proceeds to blast him. He just so anyway, I started
Mhm.
blasting. Like it's so good, and like even though the Americans were played super stereotypically, I loved all the characters. Like they're so fun. Like this movie has been a very nostalgic movie for me, and it's one that I will continue to keep on watching like through my whole life. Like I will never not rewatch this movie. Like
Nice.
it I love it.
All right. Let's head into our silly rankings then, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will give this movie 3 gold scarabs.
I will give this movie 2 mummies.
Very well done.
I am gonna give this movie 4 pharaohs.
Oh,
Mm. All the same pharaoh or like different pharaohs?
you say all the same pharaohs, so it's less work for me.
3 of them are the same and one of them's different.
All right, fair enough. All right.
Uh,
Wow. All right. Next up, Isaac. What do we have
yes.
what are we looking at next time?
So we actually have another big episode next time that we have. We will
Hell yeah.
have 5 movies on the docket. For new movies, we will have The Fall Guy, Tarot, and Unsung Hero. And then we will also have. They are showing the 25th anniversary of The Phantom Menace. I have never seen
Hell yeah.
any of the prequels movies, or like the only Star Wars
Ever?
movies I've seen in theaters. No, I've seen them, but like I haven't seen
Oh.
the only Star Wars movies I've seen in theaters are the ones that we don't talk about. So like I
Fail.
I'm very excited to see
Now
this
you
because
get
I
to
actually quite like the Phantom.
see the one that we used to not talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And then the one that I'm like super excited about is they are showing The Amazing Spider-Man in theaters. Andrew Garfield, baby.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I am so excited because I've never seen any of the other Spider-Man movies outside of Tom Holland in theaters. So like I'm really excited to go see The Amazing Spider-Man in theaters. Like I really want to go see it.
All right. Sounds like a fun day.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, Merrick, thank you for joining us for another
Yeah.
glorious day of movies. Uh, guys, be sure to subscribe because it keeps us going and keeps us going back to the theaters. Check out our letterboxed accounts at Cinema Kellan and Regular Isaac. Check out Merrick's account at Other Cheese. And until next time, guys, that's a wrap. Roll credits.